Hello students, I'm glad to see you again. Welcome to my English class. I hope you did your homework. Now I will say lesson objectives. Today we are going to review the previous lessons. Next, read about hobbies and interests and use active and passive perfect tenses. Now let's review lessons. Before we started to make some sentences using sport equipment. For example, you need a hockey stick to play ice hockey. Next example, ping pong paddles are used usually for playing table tennis. Number 2 is to use modal forms to explain rules. First modal verb is be supposed to. It's used for obligation. For example, players are supposed to wear correct uniforms. Next modal is be allowed to. It's used for permission. For example, the workers are allowed to use this room during their lunch break. Next modals, mustn't and not to be allowed to. They are used for prohibition. For example, you mustn't touch the exhibition. Next example, you are not allowed to talk during the exam. Now you will see translation under the modal verbs. Next, number 3 is how to use quantitative pronouns in the sentences. First quantitative pronoun is little. Its comparative form is less. For example, people should eat less fat to reduce this risk of heart disease. Next quantitative pronoun is few. Its comparative form is fewer. For example, there are fewer cars parked outside than yesterday. Next, quantitative pronouns are many, much. Their comparative form is more. For example, there is more money in my account than I expected. Next example, more people live in a city than in a town. You will see translations under the quantitative pronouns. You will open your book, page number 114. You look at exercise 19. You should read these activities and look at pictures. Now let's match these activities with the pictures. First, the activity is skydiving. Next, blogging. Next, jewelry making. Now let's match. Skydiving matches picture C. Blogging matches picture B. Jewelry making matches picture A. Okay, you will complete to match other activities with their pictures at home. Now you will look at exercise 22. You should read these paragraphs and choose unusual hobbies. Now I will show you 2 paragraphs and you should read these paragraphs and guess the unusual hobbies.
I have been doing it for quite a long time. I have 5 hives. Funny thing is that I had a fear of bees before I started keeping bees. Now I think they are just so cool.
Now let's see a picture. What hobby is it? It's beekeeping. Next paragraph.
Painting eggshells around Easter is a hobby of many people who carve these shells with incredibly intricate patterns. These works of art are very difficult to make and challenging, and hardly anyone can do it. But if you have the time and the patience, you can take the bull by the horns.
I will show a picture. What hobby is it? Egg painting. So, you will write your hobbies like these activities. We are going to use active and passive perfect tenses. First, the verb tense is present perfect. In active voice, its form, subject plus have has plus past participle to plus object. Now let's see example. The room looks nice. Somebody has cleaned it. Active voice means a person who did action is important. Next, passive. Its form, subject plus have has plus been plus past participle to. I will read an example. The room looks nice. It has been cleaned. It means action is important. Now I will translate into Mongolian. Одоо төгс цаг нь идэвхтэй болон идэвхгүй хэлбэр дээр хэрхэн хувирдгийг цөмөөрөө харж байна. Идэвхтэй хэлбэр дээр болохоор өгүүлбэрээ орчуулж үзвэл өрөө сайхан харагдаж байна. Хин нэгэн өрөөг цэвэрлчихсэн байна. За энэ нь болохоор хин нэгэн хүн үүлийг ямар үүлийг хийсэн гэдэг нь чухал байна. Идэвхгүй хэв дээр болохоор өгүүлбэрээ орчуулбал өрөө сайхан харагдаж байна. Өрөөг цэвэрлчихсэн байна гэсэн утгыг илэрхийлсэн байна. Энэ нь болохоор үйл явдал нь чухал байгааг илэрхийлж байна. Next verb tense, past perfect. In active voice, its form is subject plus had past participle to plus object. The room looked nice. Somebody had cleaned it. It means person who did action is important. Passive voice, its form, subject plus had plus been plus past participle to. Example, the room looked nice. It had been cleaned. The action is important. За өнгөрөн төгссөн цаг дээр түрүүний яг одоо төгссөн цагтайгаа яг ижилхэн байгаа хүмүүстэй идэвхтэй хэлбэр дээр, идэвхгүй хэлбэр дээр хэрхэн хувирдаг, мөн ямар утгыг илэрхийлдэг вэ гэдэг нь яг адилхан байгаа. Next verb tense is future perfect. In active voice, its form, subject plus will have plus past participle to plus object. When we arrive, somebody will have cleaned this room. It means person who did action is important. In the passive voice, its form subject plus will have plus been plus past participle too. When we arrive, this room will have been cleaned. The action is important. Now I will translate into Mongolia. Төгс ирээдүйд цаг дээр болохоор итэвхтэй хэлбэр дээр, итэхгүй хэлбэр дээр дараах хэлбэрүүдтэй байдаг. Мөн адил эхний итэвхтэй хэлбэр дээр үүлийг хэн хийсэн гэдэг нь чухал. Итэхгүй хэв дээрээ ямар үйл хийгдсэн гэдэг нь чухал байна. Okay, now let's learn a difference between transitive and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs. Intransitive verbs. A transitive verb is a verb that's followed by an object. An object is a noun or a pronoun. An intransitive verb is a verb that's not followed by an object. Now let's see an example. Jane mailed the letter. Jane equals subject, mailed equals verb, the letter equals object. Mailed is an intransitive verb because it has got object. Now let's see an example. An accident happened. An accident equals subject, happened equals verb. Happened is an intransitive verb because it hasn't got an object. Now let's see active and passive voice. Active. Mr. Lee signed the check. In a passive voice, the check was signed by Mr. Lee. Next example. In active voice, I slept well last night. In a passive voice, not possible because there is no object. So, only transitive verbs can be used in the passive. Now I will translate into Mongolian. Итгэвтэй болон итгэхгүй цаг дээр хэрэглэгддэг өвөл үгүүдээ бид нар тусах үүлэг, эс тусах үүлэг гэж хоёр ангилдаг байгаа. Тусах үүлэг маань болохоор ардаа тусахтгун авч явдаг. Яг юуг хийсэн, юуг үйлцсэн гэдэг нь дандаа байдаг. Харин эс тусах үүлэг маань ардаа тусахтгун авдаггүй байх нь. За жишээн дээрээс нь харуул итгэвтэй хэлбэр дээр байсан өгүүлбэр маань эс тусах үүлэг орсон итгэвтэй хэлбэр дээр байсан өгүүлбэр маань итгэхгүй хэв рүүгээ хувирж болж байна. Ягдвал энэ өгүүлбэрт тусахтгун орсон учраас. Харин эс тусах үүлэг маань итгэвтэй хэлбэр дээр хэрэглэгдэж байгаа мөртлөө итгэхгүй хэв дээр хэрэглэгддэг. Учир нь энд тусахтгун ороогүй гэсэн үг. Жишээлбэл sleep гэдэг үүлэг маань ардаа ямар нэгэн тусахтгун байхгүй эс тусах үүлэг байх нэ. Тэгэхээр эндээс зөвхөн тусах үүлэгнүүд итгэхгүй хэв дээр хувирдаг байна. Okay, do you understand how to use transitive verbs and intransitive verbs in the sentences? Now let's practice. It rained yesterday. Is it transitive or intransitive? It's intransitive. So we can't change into passive form. Next example. People will have cut down all the rainforests in 100 years. Is it a transitive or intransitive verb? It's transitive verb. So we can change into passive form. Now let's see. All the rainforests will have been cut down in 100 years. Next example. The leaves fell to the ground. Fell, is it transitive or intransitive verb? Intransitive verb. So we can't change into passive. Next, has anyone ever sent you a ticket for basketball competition? Sent, is it a transitive or intransitive verb? Transitive verb. So we can change into passive form. Now let's see. Have you ever been sent a ticket for basketball competition? Okay, I hope you understood today's lesson. So I will give you homework. You will do self-check at home. Have a nice day. Goodbye.